Hello, Taurus. Thank you so much for being here with me. I hope all of you guys are doing well. All right, Taurus. Now, things may be a little bit difficult right now. Let's just jump into this. So this week, Taurus, from Lay Vampire, you pulled Burnt by the Sun. Ambition, extension, and reach. And then from Chakra Wisdom, you pulled Insecurity. Burnt by the Sun is the I overdid it card. Now, for some of you, your insecurities are driving you to go after something that may not really be attainable for you. Now, on the other hand, some of you may have pushed yourself and didn't reach a goal, and now your insecurities may be taking hold here. Now, Burnt by the Sun, yeah, you have to go beyond the limits that you set for yourself, right? You may not get what you want, but you never know your own potential if you don't do this. But then at the same time, you have to be careful about how far you're pushing yourself, right? And you can't expect to reach these goals if you're not willing to put in the hard work or have patience, right? But what I worry about more so is insecurity coming through. The very first quote for this is what I love. It says, "The greatest adversary is the one living inside me." So really it is about facing down those demons and realizing that there is nothing wrong with you, right? Stay on course for the things that you want. And one of the other beautiful parts about this card is it says, "The gift of adversity is never given without the ability to overcome it." So you have the ability to overcome your fears and your doubts and your insecurities. All right, Taurus, here we go. Here is your overall for the week. The Knight of Wands. I hope to God you guys aren't dealing with an Aries right now. Oh my goodness. The Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is a signifier, right? It is about going after things with passion, something that you have a passion for, right? But my problem with the Knight of Wands is, the in and out factor, but then also not looking at what the long term is, right? Consequences of actions. Now, for some of you, you could definitely be dealing with a person. This person may be in and out, right? And the reason why I say Aries is because Aries was having an issue, I think. And the way that they were reacting to it was with the Knight of Wands, which may not always be a good thing. But we'll see. We'll see how this is playing out. Now, in the past, the Three of Cups, I like to see this in the positive sense. I don't, really like to go, oh shit, third-party situations. That bothers me. In some cases, some people may be dealing with the cackling hen syndrome. People that have too many different things to say. But now normally the Three of Cups is about your support system, the people who actually give a shit about what you're doing. But people, more specifically from the past, or people that you are dealing with, have something to do with what is happening now, right? I feel iffy about it. I also feel like I don't want to say it because I don't think it's right, but yet at the same time, it's what I'm feeling. So it's one of those things where you may have, this group of friends, and somebody in this group, there may be a passion for, or they have a passion for you, possibly. And I don't know why I'm feeling that way. Okay, so speaking of a person, now, what's funny though is with the Queen of Swords, right? For some of you, yeah, I feel more so with the Knight of Wands, this is the person that you're dealing with and the actions that are involved surrounding this person. I feel like the Queen of Swords is more so you. Yeah, some of you could be dealing with an air sign, but I feel like, some of you are, you've been put through some shit and you're getting a little cold here. And a little blunt and straight to the point, right? That is the Queen of Swords. She's been through some shit. It makes her harsh. And I feel more so that this has to do with you. For some of you, you just may not be feeling it. As far as, with the Three of Cups, right? And then looking at the Knight of Wands, it may not be something that you're feeling, something that you're not interested in. That, or somebody may be telling you something about someone else, the he said, she said, this person did this, da-da-da-da-da, right? Possibly. And that could be why now, the no bullshit detector is up and running with the Queen of Swords. Oh, I'm telling you, I said Aries. Future conditions, the Emperor. Now, if you're dealing with a person here, again, Aries is what's sticking out. With the Emperor, it's almost like You may be allowing this person to kind of have control over, what is happening. And that may be why you're so hostile with the Queen of Swords. Who has control? Oh my God, if you're not dealing with an Aries, Jesus. Taurus, I worry. The Emperor, though, it is about order, law and order, right? Like getting control, being in control over your own domain, right? But I still think that you think somebody else has control over what is happening. Because I don't know, I look at this as this is how you're viewing them, right? Oh boy, Taurus. And I worry now about the Three of Cups energy coming through. But let's see. All right, so now, your best path to follow, the Eight of Wands. You're going to have to act on something, and you're going to have to act on it quickly, right? And, and then you have the Knight of Wands front and center, right? I mean, this is fire, energy, passion. But with the Eight of Wands, right, things could be falling into place. You could be doing some communicating. But really what I feel like here is that, you're going to have to act, and you're going to have to do it quickly. There's something that you need to get control over. Because somebody else may have control, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but I don't think it's good either in terms of the way that you're looking at it, so to speak. And a lot of that is because of insecurity coming through. But again, with the Eight of Wands, sorry guys, I'm like still trying to get over this nasty cold. You're going to have to act, and you're going to have to act quickly on something. Otherwise, things may get out of control. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. In your environment, death. I swear to God, Taurus and Aries, you guys, you're dealing with each other. You have to be. Oh, my God. Death in your environment. So something's over with. Something needs to be over with, right? The whole point of death, though, is, you going through this transformation through the ending of something major, right? Death and transformation, something needs to be over with, and I worry, though, that you're not going along with the changes. And I still feel like some of you have people that are feeding you information that is making you hostile. And it's going to have to do with somebody who you think has control, and, you may be wanting to exert that control, right? Especially with the Eight of Wands being there, because I feel like, if you don't, things may get out of hand, right? But with the death again being in the environment, something about you has changed too, for sure. But we're having to deal with the ending of a situation here. And it's all about, how you're reacting to it and how it's changing you. Oh my God. I swear to God, I can't make this shit up. Oh my God. And you guys see me shuffle. You see me shuffle. And I clear out the deck before every reading. The Four of Cups in your hopes and fears. What are you dissatisfied with? What are you dissatisfied with? Oh my God. I'm blown away by this, because I'm looking at this going, oh shit. Oh shit. If you are not dealing with an Aries, I swear to God, I don't know who I'm meant to connect with here between Aries and Taurus, but you guys are dealing with each other right now. And the Four of Cups is exactly what Aries was dealing with in the present moment. And death was their best path to follow. The Knight of Wands was future conditioned. I swear to God, you guys are dealing with each other. The Four of Cups, though, in your hopes and fears, it may be fearing that the other person is not satisfied. And again, I say that because of the Aries connection here. Now, for some of you, it may be that you're not going to get out of an emotional funk. You may be dissatisfied just as much as the other person. You're not emotionally invested here. We're bored. You're not seeing the good offer that you want to come through. It's not good enough. It is not good enough. There has to be something better. And that may be the fear that you're not going to see, something better come along. And the fear may be that somebody is doing something out of boredom. And again, the Knight of Wands, right? We're not thinking about the consequences of actions. And it's not just the other person though, it's you too. What are you doing? What is it that you're doing? Because I feel like you're acting quickly here, or needing to, right? But it's all passion driven. And the emotions are just not there. It's just not there. But I think what kicks this off is information coming from people that are around you. And it could be from your friends. It could be from mutual friends, especially if we're talking about a relationship here. Jeez Louise. Oh, I'm telling you. Holy shit. Coming out of this, you have the Two of Cups, so it is going to have to do with a relationship, possibly with somebody who you think has control, or you're dealing with an Aries. Good Christ. This, I'm telling you, I'm telling you. So, Taurus, let me just go on a little bit of a rant here and tell a little bit of a story. Now, first of all, the Seven of Wands. This was the past coming through for Aries. I have Taurus in my rising. Okay, so, this kind of does it. I had a serious crisis of faith where I didn't even know if I was going to pick the deck back up again. And it's shit like this that just drives it home on how, this is important. It is connecting with people. These messages do need to get out there. And it blows me away, Taurus. Oh my God. Okay, so the Seven of Wands. Oh, I'm going to tell you right now, you need to be careful about what you're willing to do to get what you want. The Five of Swords is not a good thing, especially with the Knight of Swords. Man, the Five of Swords. This is somebody who is willing to do whatever it takes to get what they want, even if that means hurting somebody else, alienating somebody else. And this together is extreme miscommunication. People saying things because they can. And it's not good. And it's this battle, this fight going on. It's like you come into this standing up for yourself and the relationship, but it's like you're not seeing eye to eye with the Two of Cups. It's not being reciprocated. There's something wrong within a relationship for sure. But Taurus, I would be careful about what you're willing to do, right? Now, this could definitely be, though, the other person, right? If you're dealing with an Aries, you may be dealing with somebody who is willing to do whatever it takes to get what they want and adversely affect you in the relationship. Jesus Christ. Okay. Oh, I need to just calm down here for a minute. Taurus, with death being in the environment, right? Something has to change. Something definitely has to change here. And I don't necessarily feel like, for those of you who are in a relationship, that it needs to be over with. I think that there are things that need to be communicated, but it's not being communicated in the right way. And people are just doing whatever the hell they feel like. And that's not good, Because looking at it lined up this way, to me, it says that you have a passion for the person that you're with, but we're not seeing eye to eye in a relationship. Somebody is not invested. Somebody is not invested. Something has to end. Something needs to change. And it may be, this action of just doing whatever the hell you feel like. Because whatever it is, it's adversely affecting you. Because this is you. I'm telling you, that is you. Man. Oh my goodness. All right, Taurus, I gotta move on from this because I could pick this apart forever. I don't want to be here for an hour. We're going to look at the soul trees to see what messages there are for you guys. But I'm telling you, with the Ace of Wands being there, you're going to have to act. You're going to have to act soon. You're going to have to take care of the situation here before things get out of control. And the communication needs to be fixed, But what bothers me here is it's other people that are kicking all of this off. Now on the other hand, with the Three of Cups coming through, it could be that, you were celebrating this union, this relationship, right? But things go awry somewhere. But I still think that it's going to have to do with people that are coming through and, that are saying things that are going to affect you on an emotional level. So yeah, a situation is emerging where you're going to have to use wisdom here if you want a relationship to flourish. That's exactly what I want to say, right? Man, whatever it is that's emerging now, right? You're going to have to take control of the situation and act quickly if you want things to change, right? And change in a way that we're not looking at death, but you're going to have to use wisdom, right? Inner wisdom, calm. I feel like I need to tell you to just be calm, right? There's no reason why relationships cannot flourish, but really it's going to be on how you handle the situation. Rest and relaxation is essential. We all have a fundamental need to take a break. Shit. So for some of you, it's needing to take a break from the situation. It's not necessarily saying the end of a relationship, but you're needing to take a break from it right now. You can do whatever the hell you want to do, for sure. And again, with the Knight of Wands being front and center, yeah, right? Do what you need to do. Do what you feel like you need to do. But damn it, I'm telling you, you're going to have to get control of the situation. You're going to have to act immediately before things get out of hand. And I swear to God, some of you are dealing with an Aries. But whatever the situation is here, be careful. With you being surrounded with the energy of the Queen of Swords, it's almost like you're wanting to hand somebody an ass whooping for sure. Right? And I can understand, especially if you have people coming through that are telling you things, because I still feel like that. And I still feel like that's what's happening here. All right, Taurus. So I swear to God, some of you, if not just one person, is dealing with an Aries. You have to be. And I am looking back now at Burnt by the Sun and thinking about the sun being the signifier in their reading. But let's look at this objectively. So first of all, you have the Knight of Wands coming through, which is going forward with a lot of passion, not really thinking about the long term, And I think, and I hate saying this because the Three of Cups is one of those cards that I like to see, especially with people who are dealing with difficulties. I hate looking at it as the cackling hen syndrome or, the third party situations, whatever it is, but there are people that are kicking all of this off. And I think it's people that are talking, they're communicating to you about something that is happening, but you're not having it. Oh, hell no, you are not having it. And I'm telling you, this is you. Because whatever situation is like coming to an end and changing, it's changing you. With the death in the environment, definitely something needs to come to an end. And it may be, these third-party situations. I fucking hate saying that. But anyway, and again, Aries, but I feel more so that this is how you are viewing the other person, that, they may have a little bit too much control. And you may feel like, because, again, of death and the Queen of Swords, that they're just doing whatever the fuck they want to do, which is a possibility. Now, again, on the other hand, it could just be you needing to get control over some craziness that's going on, because definitely there is a need for you to act, and you're going to have to act quickly to get control over what is going on. That is what I feel like, more so than needing to communicate or travel or anything like that. You have to act. You're going to have to do something here. The Four of Cups, it's a fear of, somebody being dissatisfied. Again, boredom, just not being emotionally involved in something, and I worry about this being in the hopes and fears. But, I think that this is the issue that needs to be dealt with, specifically within relationships. For those of you who are in a relationship, absolutely. Now, what worries me is, the clarifiers for this, first of all, blows me away. The Seven of Wands. Somebody who is standing up for themselves and saying what needs to be said, but, the way that it comes out may be not very good between the two of these, right? With the Knight of Swords coming out, though, I especially with the Queen of Swords, I almost feel like you're coming forward with a really harsh truth, and it needs to be said and come out, and it may cause, like, fighting, right? But it's like something needs to be said, but then on the other hand, it could just be straight up miscommunication, but I don't like the energy of both. But, you know, what makes me hopeful on this is looking at the soul trees, and it's one of the reasons why I like pulling from these decks, because, you know, even for those of you who are dealing with the most difficult and extreme situations, you know, these cards really give you a little bit of, okay, right? So flourish, wisdom, and emerging. The situation that is emerging is going to call for wisdom on your part, right? There's no reason why a relationship cannot flourish. But I feel like I need to tell you to be calm. Don't go kicking ass just yet, you know. And it's funny because I warn people, you don't want to piss off Taurus because you're asking for problems, right? Leave them be. They're chill. You guys are super chill, right? I'm comfortable in my surroundings. Leave me the fuck alone. And when somebody disrupts that, you know, I want to say they're going to get what they deserve, right? Now, as far as with, you know, Whispers of Love, you're limitless. Fucking right. Fucking right. I love that card. But then, you know, again, sorry about the hair, guys. I'm shedding. With, you know, needing to take a break, and maybe needing to take a break from listening to so many damn people that think that they know what's going on, because I kind of feel like that too. But your relationship coming out of this, and how you deal with this, and how you communicate with this person, is going to be the most important thing coming out of this. Because I do think that you are trying to exert control over the nonsense, but, you know, maybe they are trying to do the same thing too. I would just say that Taurus, you know, something's got to change, especially with death being there. But, you know, just be careful about the way that you're dealing with communication, especially if you're learning information, right? I'm not seeing the Page of Swords, which, you know, I would expect to see with the cackling hen syndrome. But again, I still feel like people are the catalyst for all of this and things being said. But, you know, again, just be careful about the communication you do, because there's no reason why the relationship can't flourish. And don't let your insecurities get the best of you.